On a remote island in the Pacific, a boy named Haru lived alone with his grandfather. His parents had passed away in a storm, leaving him to grow up surrounded by the endless sea. Though his grandfather was kind, Haru always felt lonely. One evening, as Haru walked along the beach, he noticed something strange. A massive shadow loomed over the horizon. The ground trembled, waves surged violently. Then, a roar tore through the sky, a sound so powerful it shook Haru to his core. Haru hid behind a rock, heart pounding. From the darkness emerged a towering figure, Godzilla. The monster's eyes glowed like molten fire. Haru had heard stories of the king of monsters, but seeing him in real life was terrifying. Godzilla stomped onto the shore, letting out another deafening roar, but something was wrong. The great beast seemed tired. Wounded, Haru could see gashes along his massive body, likely from a battle with another monster. Summoning all his courage, Haru took a step forward. "Are you hurt?" he whispered. To his surprise, Godzilla did not attack. Instead, he let out a low, rumbling growl, one that almost sounded like an answer. Over the next few days, Haru cautiously observed Godzilla. The great beast often rested near the cliffs, occasionally disappearing into the sea. Haru noticed that Godzilla struggled to move his left leg. It was badly injured. Driven by curiosity and empathy, Haru started leaving fish and fresh water near Godzilla's resting spot. At first, Godzilla barely acknowledged the gifts. But one evening, as Haru placed food on a rock, Godzilla turned his massive head and looked straight at him. A deep, guttural sound rumbled from the monster's throat, not a growl of anger, but something different, something softer. That night, Haru smiled for the first time in a long while. One evening, as Haru sat on the beach watching Godzilla rest, a strange noise echoed through the sky. It was not the usual sound of waves or wind, it was something unnatural, a deep, metallic hum. Looking up, Haru's heart nearly stopped. A giant mechanical creature was descending from the sky. Its body gleamed under the moonlight, covered in metal plates and glowing red eyes. Haru had heard stories about this monster, Mechagodzilla. The robot beast landed with a thunderous crash, sending shockwaves across the beach. Godzilla immediately stood up, letting out a warning roar. But Haru could see the pain in his friend's movements. His injuries had not fully healed. Mechagodzilla's red eyes locked onto the king of monsters, and within seconds, a barrage of energy blasts fired from its hands. Explosions erupted around Godzilla, sending him staggering back. Haru clenched his fists. He couldn't just sit and watch. As Godzilla roared in pain, Haru noticed something. Mechagodzilla's movements were stiff. Its left leg, just like Godzilla's, seemed damaged. "This is my chance," Haru thought. Ignoring his fear, Haru sprinted toward the towering mech. He grabbed a handful of rocks and started throwing them at the machine's exposed joints. It was foolish. What could a boy's strength do against such a beast? But surprisingly, Mechagodzilla hesitated. Its sensors registered the small threat, momentarily shifting its focus away from Godzilla. That was all the time Godzilla needed. With a deafening roar, Godzilla charged forward, slamming his tail into Mechagodzilla's damaged leg. The impact sent the mechanical beast crashing into the sand. Mechagodzilla struggled to rise, but Godzilla didn't give it a chance. He grabbed the robot by the neck and unleashed a powerful atomic breath at point-blank range. A massive explosion erupted, sending debris flying in all directions. Haru shielded his eyes from the blinding light. When the dust settled, Mechagodzilla lay motionless, half buried in the sand. Breathing heavily, Godzilla turned to Haru. For a moment, the two just stared at each other. Then, in an act that surprised Haru, Godzilla let out a low, gentle growl. It was as if he was thanking him. The next morning, as the sun rose over the ocean, Godzilla stood at the edge of the water, gazing at the horizon. It was time for him to leave. Haru felt a lump in his throat. He didn't want to say goodbye, but he knew this was Godzilla's nature. He belonged to the sea. Stepping forward, Haru placed a hand on Godzilla's massive foot. "Thank you," he whispered. Godzilla let out a final, earth-shaking roar before turning toward the ocean. With powerful strides, he disappeared beneath the waves. Haru watched until there was nothing left but the endless blue sea. Though Godzilla was gone, Haru knew one thing for certain: he was no longer alone. If you enjoyed Haru and Godzilla's adventure, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to MounTV to follow their next thrilling journey. More dangers await them. Can their friendship survive even greater challenges? Hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next episode.